The most misleading and most deceiving stat in tennis is that 70% of points won are decided within the first 4 shots, meaning it's decided within the serve, the return of serve, or the serve plus 1 or the return plus 1. And I believe it's very misleading because it implies that you have to win every tennis point within the first 4 shots, and if you don't, you are doomed. And you're not doomed, obviously. You're definitely not doomed. And this stat is from Craig O'Shaughnessy, who is a very good tennis coach, tennis analyst, and I respect him. And I don't disagree with this actual stat. This is very true, but it could lead to faulty coaching. And some tennis coaches would interpret the stat in that, oh, you have to really win matches in the first 4 points. And these practices where we're rallying like endlessly, like 50-ball rallies, practices that involve shot tolerance. You know, some coaches may say, oh, that's not important anymore, but that's very, very important. So you really have to know the context of this stat. And what is the context of this stat? Well, in order to be very good with those serve returns and the plus ones, you need reps, you need practice. So you need endless serve practice, return serve practice, and you need to be practicing those forehands and backhands. And in order to do that, you need to go through 50-ball rallies, 100-ball rallies in order to be very consistent. And furthermore, the stat says that 70% of the points won are decided within the first 4 shots. Well, what about the other 30%, right? What about the other 30%? Obviously, it's decided after the first 4 shots, but are they happening on very important points? Is it happening on 30 alls, break points, game points, deuce points, right? This is extremely important and maybe the most deciding factor in regards to that actual match, because every match could be played out very differently, right? So that 30%, which is a good chunk of that match in itself, we don't really know. We don't really know how that's all played out, how that's all calculated, and you just can't ignore that. And here's the biggest key in regards to the stat. Here's what you really want to get out of this stat, right? Is that you need to get ahead in the point. Ahead in the point. What does that mean? Well, basically, when you're the server here, and I'll play this point out near the end of the video in normal speed, but when you play this point out, okay, you'll see that here Jack here is the one serving. He will be ahead of the point pretty much all the way, and that's what you need to be when you're serving for the most part, right? So when he serves, it's a good serve, you know, decent return, and now Jack is dictating play, right? Dictating play. He's not, you know, outright offensive, not outright ripping winners, but he's dictating play all throughout this point, and that's where you want to be. Regardless if it's the first 4 shots, 8 shots, 25 shots, you want to be ahead in the point. And, you know, not all points are going to be played out the same way. You're going to be on offense, and then maybe you'll go on defense, and then maybe you'll go on offense again on that same point. But that's where you want to be. As the server, you have the advantage. You have the first shot of that point. You need to be dictating play. You need to be placing the ball well. You need to put this person, your opponent, on the back foot as many times as possible. And you just can't be defensive pretty much on your serve because that's going to be a very tough time for you, right? So that's the overall gist of that stat. And if you're the returner, if you're this guy, you need to get ahead in the point as well. That's your main goal. But basically, you need good returns that neutralize your opponent's first or second serve, find a way to get into the point, survive those first 1 or 2 shots, and then find a way to get ahead. It's just all about getting ahead in the point, and if you are dictating play, you're going to win that match. If you enjoyed this video,
kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.